Hey guys, I've recently had a few questions from new parrot owners on their parrots. One of the questions was, the person has a new caique, but the caique is 1 year old, and the question is like, when and how do I take it out of the cage? Do I leave it in the cage for a few days to adjust? How long do I wait to start to connect with my parrot? And how do I start to connect? Do I give them my finger? Will they bite it? I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond and a few other parrot books. Make sure to check them out so that you have a coloring book or a novel to read over the holiday, coloring book for an adult or a kid on Amazon. This here is Eclipse, and look, Eclipse is nibbling on my fingers. Hi, Eclipse. Mwah. And that right there is Tawny. They are two of our caiques. They are white-bellied caiques. And they're going to help me talk to you today about that question, because the other question I got was, my new baby is like, it was bonding, I was petting it, it was like all happy, we were so lovey-dovey, and then all of a sudden it's starting to attack me when someone else comes around, it's getting aggressive. So we have to kind of figure out how to balance, connecting with our new bird. So one of the challenges is there is no steadfast rule as to how long do you leave the bird in the cage or what do you do. Now, I will say real quick that if you have a new baby bird, you don't want them to be in a really big cage. Yes, an adult parrot, the bigger the cage, the better. But with a brand new baby, you really want to make sure that they can get to their food and things like that. Think of a human baby. We don't automatically put a toddler into a really big room. They go into a playpen and then their space gets a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger so that they are comfortable and they don't sort of like lose their bearings. So make sure that's step number one, because otherwise if your parrot's not eating, it really could starve to death. It sounds crazy, but it happens. So don't let that happen. Number two, part of it depends on your parrot. Eclipse, I actually got when he was a year, and Tawny, I hand fed. Tawny is actually so much sweeter. Aren't you, sweetie pie? You're just such a sweet girl. So some of it has to do with the individual personality of the parrot. You can see that they are both actually friendly. They are both actually very sweet, but Eclipse is a little more, if I could be stereotypical, boy-like, and Tawny is a little more, if I could be stereotypical, sweet and girl-like, a little more social. He's a little more rough and gruff kind of thing. But so it does depend on your parrot. You want to make sure that your parrot knows their cage, knows that that is their space. And it's true, you don't want them to get cage aggressive, which means that they're defensive of their cage and like they don't even want you putting your hand in. That doesn't usually happen. It happens sometimes with Quakers, not so much with other species, depending on what's going on. So generally speaking, you want them to make sure that they know where their cage is, they know that that's their space, that kind of thing. Other than that, if they're curious about you, then I totally encourage you to try to spend some time with them. If they bite you, ow! You tell them ow. And make sure to watch my video on no more bites, because it really helped me, and I've had a lot of people say that it helped them with their new baby parrots as well. You let them engage with you at the point of your own comfort, because that's a two-way street. So you could see that I'm really comfortable putting Tawny on my shoulder, and I was comfortable with Eclipse too, although right now Eclipse is in a I'm gonna eat you for breakfast kind of mode. Not that he's drawing any blood, so he's not really hurting me, but do you see that? Now, a lot of people will tell you not to give them your finger, but I do. Why do I do that? Because that is how they greet each other. When you watch two parrots, one of the first things they do is they beak each other. So to me, it's like a handshake, and that body language is a greeting. So part of it is, I feel like Eclipse actually just needs to spend more time with me and develop more of a bond with me. And so that's a part of what I think he's really after. It feels a little aggressive, but it's aggressive in a, hey, look, he's not leaving me, he's not flying away from me, he's not mad at me, he's not biting me and hurting me. So the truth is he wants to engage with me, but he doesn't exactly know how. So I need to teach him how. Go slow with your parrot. A tame parrot is a parrot that is familiar with you. which is true of any animal. That means that if your parrot is doing what he's doing and you don't want to be bitten, make sure to put them close by on a perch. That way they can spend time with you. You can still see them, and they can get more relaxed, start to feel like it's all good. Look at that, he just jumped up to his perch. It's all good. And what you want is you want actually them and for you to both have this experience where you're happy, comfortable, you're allowed to be yourself, no one's coming after you, no one's hurting you, and you have food, you have water, you can play. You are allowed to live happily ever after kind of thing. So you want to see, what does your bird need for you to give them so that they have that kind of experience. So should you take your bird out right away? Should you handle them a lot? And if they're getting a little too bitey, are you handling them maybe too much? Are you petting them in the wrong places? Those are the questions that you want to ask yourself. If your bird is getting a little too bitey, like Eclipse, maybe it's time to give them a perch or give them some time either with their playmate, because they teach each other not to bite. It's so hard. Or, maybe they just need some time to adjust. Like Tawny here, maybe it's going to be a little easier to handle them and a little easier to create a bond. Monitor your bird and make sure that they seem like they're getting comfortable. If they're too bitey, maybe they're not quite comfortable. If they're attacking you, something's wrong. Give them some space and just spend a lot of time with them. Spending time with them doesn't mean that they have to be on you. It doesn't mean that you have to be engaging with them and giving them all of your attention. One of the biggest mistakes new parrot owners make is they've got this new, incredible, beautiful, intelligent parrot, and they kind of want to just be with them, like, oh my God, you're so cute, and oh my God, step up and let's do this and let's do that. But then when the novelty wears off, you kind of have other things that you need to do, other things that you have to do, and now you're not engaging with your parrot. Well, that's a little too intense for the parrot, and then not intense enough, right? So you want to make sure to have a daily routine so that your parrot can rely on the daily routine. They know what to expect. They know that things won't be so intense or sort of so vacant, so vacuous, where they're not getting any time or attention. Make sure to balance it. It'll help you and your parrot feel comfortable, develop a bond, and get closer and closer and closer and closer. People who take the time and really create that routine, monitor their parrot, kind of go, do you need to step up now? Do you need to go on the perch? Are you hungry? Is it time for training? Or let's have a regular training routine and really meet their parrot's needs, their parrot's personality. Well, they are the ones who create this incredible, blissful bond, who have this best friend. And this is a best friend like very few others you'll ever have. So make sure to kind of ask yourself those questions, monitor your parrot. Make sure your parrot, your new parrot, is eating, is comfortable, that they seem happy, they're comfortable with you, you're comfortable with them, and you're going to be off to a great start and create a great bond. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure to place them below. If you enjoyed this video with the three of us, please be sure to give us one of these, and then we will catch you in the next feathered video.